what we learned from the Buffalo Bills Voluntary OTAs. Coming right up on today's edition of the Da Mafia Report. Yo ho ho, Bills Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of the Da Mafia Report. As always, your host, Dan Mitchell. Say, for example, that you're new here. I am an avid member of the Bills Mafia, and I regularly put out videos about the Buffalo Bills and the NFL. If that is your cup of tea, I highly recommend subscribing to this channel, and as always, smashing the ever-living out of that like button. As you read that title correctly, ladies and gentlemen, I took the liberty of watching all 3 hours and 30 minutes of the post-OTA interviews, where the media ended up talking to just about every single personality that we give a shit about at One Bills Drive, and we did learn a lot. So in today's episode, I wanted to pull out some of the big storylines, some of the things that have been causing a stir on Twitter, everyone's freaking out about, or everyone's excited about, and we're just gonna condense it right in one sweet little video, baby. One of the most timely stories that came out was from the Brandon Beane interview, where he started discussing a bit more about what his draft strategy is going to be like. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't trust a word that any GM says prior to making a significant move for his organization, but let's just take a look at what he said here.
Yeah, I mean, tell me who's coming off the board, and I'll tell you. If I was in Vegas right now, putting money down, I would say if we were going to do anything, it'd be more likely to go back.
So you heard that correctly. As many of us know, the Buffalo Bills are sitting at the 27th pick of the draft, right? Now, there's been a lot of speculation of whether or not that we are going to trade down, which seems to be right on character for a guy like Brandon Beane, or even trading up for a specific player such as Bijan Robinson, or maybe another offensive weapon to further assist Josh Allen. But you heard it right there. It sounds like that Brandon Beane doesn't have a lot of confidence in the overall draft rankings of the players that would fall at number 27. So he's not about to say that he is absolutely zeroed in on the best linebacker available, or the best DB available, or the best running back. He's simply going to just take the best player available. And that could be something where we are in great shape on, but I think it's a decent strategy. Frankly, I think it's bull. I don't think anybody on earth knows exactly what Brandon Beane is going to do outside of Brandon Beane. But trade up, trade down, I'm not sure. Sound off in the comments and let me know what you think this guy is cooking up. Second story that came out, and I mean, dude, it's been grinding my gears. Diggs, once again, did not show up for voluntary OTAs. Now, one thing I do sort of want to be able to allow all of Bills Mafia to calm down. I'm not even sure if Stefon Diggs has attended any voluntary workout for the Buffalo Bills, for the Vikings, in quite some time. This certainly doesn't help, especially after the playoffs when he was absolutely just ripping Josh Allen apart on the sideline. It's been narrative after narrative, everyone thinking that he's like requesting a trade, he's not happy with Buffalo. You see a tweet like this, and so somebody's upset that Stefon Diggs was out there enjoying his life at Coachella. And so I do have to give it to the man. He is the drip king of the NFL, so let's not get it twisted. But I think a lot of this is being completely blown out of proportion. I mean, this is right on character. I feel like it's been for the past couple of years he hasn't shown up at all. And so to answer the question of exactly how Josh Allen and Stefon Diggs stand in the relationship, and Josh Allen's take on why he wasn't there and some of his off-season tweets and behavior, this is what Josh had to say about it.
Is everything good with him and you?
Yeah, absolutely. Steph's gonna Steph. I love the guy. He really is. He's one of my favorite people on this planet.
Now, I guarantee you that the two of them are still literally on the sticks every single night playing either Fortnite or Call of Duty. I think it's just the media absolutely going insane. Bills Mafia, I assure you, Stefon Diggs will be on this team for at least the next 2 years. Have no worry whatsoever. Sound off on the comments about that as well, about what you feel about the entire Stefon Diggs situation. Oh no, Dan, not another ad read. Trust me, you are going to thank me for this. Now, as many of you know, I work extremely long hours, 7 a.m. until I about pass out at 11 or midnight Monday through Friday. And you would think that I would be able to go to sleep and rejuvenate. You're absolutely wrong. My mind is still going a million miles a second, and for the most part, I'm staring at my ceiling until 3 a.m. Now, that is something that I have accepted for myself, but I needed to make a change. I needed to start taking naps, but once again, I can't nap either. Whether or not that it's my FOMO, or whether or not that I just can't get comfortable enough, or it's too bright, I have had no such luck until I ended up finding the Manta sleep mask. Now, little do you know, Manta truly believes sleep needs to be the #1 priority in order to achieve that particular level of success. Now, these things are ridiculously comfortable, and literally the second that you put it on, you feel like you're right next to Aaron Rodgers during one of his darkness retreats. I mean, look at this. Literally can't see shit. And so you know what? I should probably apply to officiate in the NFL. Prerequisites right here. Now, Manta has several selections on their website. This particular is the Sleep Mask Pro. This company and this mask has really been able to help me prioritize what is most important, and that is my sleep, so I can keep on giving you that juicy content, baby. So whatever you're doing, go to that link in my bio and make sure you put in the code DONMAFIA, and they're going to give you an extra 10% off your first order. Trust me, you will not regret this. Night night, bitches. Speaking of wide receivers, the most exciting hypothetical Buffalo Bill in 2023 has to be DeAndre Hopkins. I feel like rumors have been swirling around that he wants to be here. He's looking to get out of Arizona. And I think it picked up a lot more steam after this YouTube short or TikTok was released when he ended up showing his facial expression on how he would feel to go to the Buffalo Bills.
Second destination, we're going to go with the Buffalo Bills.
And it absolutely pissed me off because I can't handle another disappointment. I really can't. I mean, could you imagine DeAndre Hopkins and Stefon Diggs lined up on the outside for Josh Allen? That right there is an antidote right to the Dolphins secondary, and then I think that Josh Allen would really be able to flourish in that system. Now, of course, Von Miller, who is known for his recruitment skills, had this to say during his interview about DeAndre Hopkins.
Hop said he wanted to be a Buffalo Bill, and you just never know until you get, that DeAndre Hopkins signature on the contracts.
About as straightforward as it gets. Now, do I think that Brandon Beane is wanting to make a move for this? This guy's very unpredictable. I absolutely have no idea. If it were to happen, what I think could be a potential scenario is day 2 or day 3 in the draft, Hopkins gets sent over, and then we end up releasing maybe a 3rd or 4th round pick. It sounds like that Arizona and Hopkins are really on the same page about where they want to be, where they see his career not being a part of the Cardinals. We'll see, but once again, don't get your hopes up, and because as long as you don't, you'll never be disappointed. Some of the best news to come out of this media day for OTAs was the first time that we have heard from Damar Hamlin. Now, I know a lot of us still have PTSD and nightmares of what occurred in Cincinnati when Damar Hamlin ended up going down, but as of yesterday, he has been fully cleared to resume all football activity. He confirmed a lot during his interview, but, guy was in there participating in workouts with the rest of the secondary and the rest of the teams. This is what he had to say about it.
This event was life-changing, but it's not the end of my story. So I'm here to announce that I plan on making a comeback to the NFL.
It's truly a storybook watching somebody that could go through something so horrific, but at the same time getting back on the horse. There would have been no judgment whatsoever if he decided to hang up the cleats and retire. But man, what an inspiration. Where literally this guy was literally knocking on the door of death. And then as soon as when he gets better, he wants to go back out there and contribute to his brothers in the locker room and be the football player that he knows that he is. Honestly, I think that this is almost a shoo-in for comeback player of the year. Final story to come on out, Josh Allen. Now, I'm sure all of us have been scrolling through TikTok and we've seen all the rumors. Josh Allen and his girlfriend, Brittany Williams, have broken up. And so I'm not going to sit here and tell you all of the rumors that are coming out of the fact that they got in a blowout fight right before the Bengals game. It was over this, it was over that. And so his girlfriend ended up taking out just about every single picture of him, so it's clear that they are no longer together. And for the most part, it did make a little bit of sense throughout the second half of last season of why was Josh not being Josh. But after today's interview, let me tell you what, I have never been more confident that my quarterback is going to go out there next year and be an arguable MVP right after this exact same statement that he put out into the ether.
At this point in my life, I've never been as focused or locked in football than I am right now. So
that's exactly what we need from our quarterback. When a guy comes out and says, I have never been more focused on football in my entire life, I genuinely feel bad for any defense that has to go up against that man next year. By the way, I'm liking the long hair era. And then also, even better news, it sounds like his elbow is completely fine and he's good to go. Oh, Bills Mafia, I sincerely appreciate you tuning in to yet another edition of the Dom Mafia Report. Keep in mind, the AFC East Roundtable is going to be tonight. Myself, Richie TD, and Master at Work are going to be having on a couple of guests and really taking a deep dive into the NFL draft, maybe a couple of mock drafts. I sincerely hope that you're able to join us because, it's essentially the start of season 4, baby. Thank you so much. Smash that like button if you have not already. Subscribe to this channel on your way out, and I will see you tomorrow. Deuces.